Rihanna woos thousands with a stunning performance at Kensington Oval. A top economist says Barbados could soon feel the effects of the U.S. credit rating downgrade. And in sports, Barbados' richest football tournament is launched.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the August 6th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story, it was the biggest show in Barbados, and international songstress Rihanna didn't disappoint her thousands of fans, belting out hit after hit. In fact, she did much to silence her critics with a near flawless performance to a capacity crowd at Kensington Oval last night. Of the Rihanna Loud concert. Clearly the most anticipated concert in Barbados at this time. The stands are packed, the grounds are packed. In fact, the VIP and the VVIP sections are packed as people anticipate the arrival of the star of the night, Rihanna. The mecca of cricket in Barbados was transformed for the Rihanna Loud concert last night. The stage, unlike anything experienced locally before, was set, and hundreds of Barbadians and visitors stood in line dressed in their finest to get into the venue for the 7:30 start. And once they were in, people made themselves comfortable for the start of the show. And just after the designated 7:30 start time, the lights went down and the opening act, Barbadian Teenagers' Cover Drive, struck up, playing to a very appreciative audience. Then it was the turn of Rihanna's label mate, J. Cole. Even with only a few hits to his name, the US rapper performed creditably, much to the delight of the massive audience. But it was J. Cole's DJ Dummy, who was the showstopper of the set. First, the Brooklyn DJ touched Barbadians with some local favorites. Then he showed his mastery of the Wheels of Steel.
I'm very excited to see Rihanna. J. Cole was good. Cover Drive is my favorite band. Big ups to Cover Drive. Yeah, just excited.
Having a great time. Can't wait for Rihanna to come on stage.
Darling, we can't wait to see Riri.
Yeah, people be feeling low. It is very, 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 very excellent so far.
And adults were not the only Rihanna fans in the audience.
I feel very good, and I think it's good.
Rihanna's awesome. I follow her.
What do you mean by you follow?
I mean, I saw her concert in New York City too.
And by the time she came on stage, an hour later than scheduled, things got very loud very quickly. Rihanna belting out her hit song, Only Girl in the World, and the audience responding, jumping, screaming, waving and singing every word, getting loud right along with her. Then, for the next 2 hours, the hometown girl performed hit after another from her 5 albums, complete with extravagant props, exciting backup dancers, lights and several costume changes, and that all enhanced the performance. But in the end, was it worth the wait?
What she did tonight, it's historic. Give Jack his jacket.
The show was brilliant. She really surprised me. She gave a really good performance. She was technically sound. Her voice was crisp. She was energetic. She was very playful. She would play the guitar, playing the drums, you know. Rihanna is a class act.
It was amazing. I found that even though we had to wait long for Rihanna, the show was just absolutely amazing. She pulled out all the stops this year.
I thought it was fantastic. I was backstage, so it was awesome. It was absolutely brilliant. She's done a fantastic job. And I came all the way back from Switzerland, and I'm from Barbados. It was well worth the flight.
I thought it was great. You could definitely see there was a lot of money behind it. Props, stage props and everything. I definitely think it was one of the greatest shows we've ever seen in Barbados.
And I certainly had a fantastic time.
Well, there was a good mix in the crowd at the Rihanna's homecoming concert last night, and as Lisa Lord reports, many were heartened to see her performance.
Many Barbadians who would not have ordinarily got the chance to see the superstar took up every vantage point to see homegirl Rihanna at Kensington Oval last night. Her father, Ronald Fenty, was among those near the stage. He says he's glad to see his daughter finally perform on Barbadian soil, something he's wanted for a long time.
I'm glad to see my daughter perform in Barbados. We wanted this for so long, you know, and the promoters never thought of bringing her in, and I'm glad the government had finally did this, and I know she can do us proud. Yes, I'm proud of all my kids, especially Rihanna, have gone beyond the boundaries of the world. It makes no sense, you know, the sky's the limit. How can the sky be the limit with the already footprints on the moon, you know? You're going to reach for the stars, and that's what she did.
Veteran saxophonist Arturo Tapin, who has performed at concerts around the world and opened for some of the biggest names in music, says Rihanna, despite her short career, is a talented performer and has done a lot for her country.
She's placed us on the map.
Former opposition leader Mia Motley says the superstar has changed the way the world sees Barbados.
When you consider that this young girl was born less than a mile from here, and what she has achieved in becoming really the most famous Barbadian on this earth, God bless her, and God continue to keep her spirits high, and all that she does may be in the name of this country and for the betterment of her as a person.
And you would think that after a 90-minute performance, the songbird would leave Kensington in a chauffeur-driven limousine. But to show just how at home Rihanna felt, the singer drove herself in a simple rental. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
Meantime, we're hearing that the Rihanna official after party was a popular option for hundreds of people who couldn't get enough of the Rihanna effect. Shane Seeley was there.
It's the place where everyone wants to be after the Rihanna Loud concert. It's the official Rihanna after party. Hundreds of people have made their way from the Kensington Oval here to Lime Grove in Old Town, and there are long lines at every entrance to the venue. I'm going to get a glimpse at the party and see what all the fuss is about. These are the lucky few who got into the official after party, all of them hoping to get another glimpse of Bajan superstar Rihanna. What is so special about the after party that has all these people outside waiting to get in?
They want to see the queen of pop. My daughter, my friend, my everything, Rihanna.
The party basically is, you know what I mean, after the whole show, you know, everybody get to mingle and really, you know, party a little bit, because the people in the 3W stand and those places can really, you know, feel it like the people in the grounds and the VIP. So basically it's everybody together now, feeling the vibe after the show and stuff like that, and just having a nice time, man, that's all.
I just think that the whole Rihanna is just exciting for everyone, and I guess the after party was said to be like the bomb, so yeah.
It's packed, everyone's having fun, everyone's drinking, so I feel lucky to be in here.
Now everyone wasn't as fortunate to get into the official Rihanna after party, but I know the few that did had a wonderful time. We also understand that Rihanna came for a few minutes. She spent a brief time here at Lime Grove, and it's because of her that the entire night, the Loud concert and the official Rihanna after party was such a great success. I'm Shane Seeley for CBC News.
Well, the benefits of the Rihanna concert have definitely been seen in the business community. And that's according to Chairman of the Revitalization of Bridgetown Initiative and Senior Vice President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Lalu Vaswani. He says the Barbados Tourism Authority should be highly commended for the effort, which has increased economic activity in an otherwise slow period.
It attracts the entire world to Barbados for the wonderful things that we have to provide international quality activities as this Loud project, this Loud concert with Rihanna. It's been fantastic for the Barbados economy, and we hope that we could have several more of this. It also demonstrates how the wonderful facilities we have at Kensington can provide international activities with such ease and such coordination by our local partners.
A top economic advisor reacts to the downgrading of the U.S. credit rating. That story and more ahead on the evening news. The chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors to the government has been reacting to the downgrade of the United States credit rating by Standard & Poor's. Professor Frank Allen says Barbados could feel the effects of the downgrade shortly. Speaking on a recording of this weekend's news and current affairs radio program In the Spotlight, Professor Allen says he expects some immediate reaction in the U.S.
In the United States, people are going to be much more careful with their spending. And if they're more careful with their spending, it's going to show up in the area of tourism, right? So we will get reduced demand for tourism services by residents of the United States. Also, you'll find that the extent that the interest rate rises, it can show up in increased costs for those who produce goods in the United States. And so you might find the cost of goods imported out of the U.S. We might have to pay more for them.
Head of the Department of Management Studies at Cayfield campus, Dr. Justin Robinson, also appears on the program. He believes there could be an immediate effect, but it will depend on how much credibility is given to the S&P rating.
I don't really expect any significant impact on Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, because I mean, if direct in terms of the actual downgrade itself, in a sense that the U.S. is still AAA plus, so any U.S. dollar held assets, I think, will still have value. So I don't think that would be affected. I don't think the dollar, the peg, will actually be affected or trading arrangements. Where I think an effect could come down the road is if this downgrade really leads to a significant loss of confidence internationally and helps to push the world into a sort of double dip recession.
Police Commissioner Darwin Doughton postponed today's planned press conference at police headquarters. That meeting was expected to provide the media with an update on investigations into the recent double murder at Salters in St. George and the spate of robberies around the island. Lawmen say several people are being questioned in connection with the murder of 79-year-old Arthur Chatterton and his 44-year-old son-in-law Gerhard Stock, both of whom were fatally shot by intruders. No arrests have been made or charges laid so far. It is unclear when the Commissioner intends to hold the proposed press conference. Well, Shane Jones will be along with the latest sporting action next.
Hi, good evening. I'm Shane Jones with the Sports News. September 11th is the start date for what is being called the mother of all football tournaments in Barbados. The Lion Pelican Football Challenge was officially launched this morning at the Island Inn Hotel. With a massive purse up for grabs, the organizers believe that it's about time football got its big break in Barbados.
Football has never enjoyed the same institutional structure over the decades that cricket has enjoyed, in the same way that athletics in Barbados has never enjoyed the same institutional structure that it has enjoyed in Jamaica. And I'm very clear in my mind that if we are going to see excellence emerge from our players in the same way that we had the institutional structure to support it in cricket and we had it in Jamaica in athletics, that we need to work assiduously to do so in football.
It is a big stride towards professionalizing the game on the island, as well as an opportunity for people to earn some money.
100,000 Barbados dollars winner takes all, which is 4 times greater than any prize ever offered to a football team in the history of this country. In addition to that, we will be leveraging the fact that players and owners will be paid for each game, and therefore they have a duty to be disciplined, to be professional, and to ensure that we give the patrons who come to the games the best possible football experience that they can have in this country.
Speaking about those patrons, you will be able to watch the action at the FIFA-approved state-of-the-art UWI playing field at the Lazaretto, now called Paradise Park. So there will be 10 teams divided into 2 zones of 5, playing a round robin, and players will be drafted to these squads.
Based on the discussion with the prospective owners, we have agreed to give them the opportunity to select 5 players. The other 17 players would be selected at a draft to be held next week. As we speak now, players are really indicating their interest in playing in the tournament.
As the name suggests, Lime is very much on board, and Alex McDonald is happy to be a part of a project that rewards excellence.
A lot of our youth playing in an active sport that they could share the prize in, and that from all over the place, businessmen, people who think they're businessmen, consortia would sponsor a team. And in my mind, I thought that what that would create was this buzz that says we can do, we will do, and that for once in our life, that the winner does really take all.
Well, switching sports now, Barbados got the one wicket they needed to end the WICB Regional Under-19 Cricket Tournament in Guyana on a winning note. But they still had to settle for third spot. At Everest, the Bajans defeated Guyana by an innings and 52 runs. Scores in the game, Guyana 87 and 158, Barbados 297 for 8 declared. Eventual winners Jamaica finished off the Windward Islands by an innings and 77 runs since yesterday and topped the standings on 43.7 points. Trinidad and Tobago finished second with a victory at Border today, beating Leeward Islands by an innings and 122 runs. Scores Leeward's 149 and 128, TNT 399 for 6 declared. So Trinidad got the number 2 spot with 39.5 points, ahead of Barbados on 36.5. Guyana was 4th on 18.9, Windward's 5th with 10.4, and Leeward's brought up the rear with 10 points. Locally now, BNB St. Catherine made the most of today's conditions to total 251 for 7 against joint defending champion Sadricor UWI at the 3Ws Oval today on the first day of the 6th series of matches in the Lime BCA Division 1 competition. Kenroy Williams and Dane Maynard each scored 85. At Lime, the home side closed on 140 for 5 against Supercenter Spartan. ICBL Empire reached 194 for 4 against YMPC at Bank Hall, while ESA Field Pickwick ended the day on 127 for 7 against Banks at Wildy. There was no play in the game at Leicester Vaughan, featuring Guardian General Barbados Youth and Tele Barbados Carlton. Neither was a ball bowled at Trents between home side CGI Sandy Crest Maple and BDF Sports Program. A path is being cleared once again for sports medicine in the Caribbean. A 2-day medical conference put on by the West Indies Cricket Board is seeing much attention being placed on a small medical panel which was implemented years ago with the aim of looking after injuries to players. West Indies coach Otis Gibson told CBC Sports that it is set up to treat players on and off the field.
I think one of the hardest things in West Indies cricket is getting everybody together. You know, we're spread all across the region. Getting everybody together in the same place, you know, and the West Indies team, as we all know, needs all the support it can get, you know, and these people, the medical people, the doctors that are in the room, the physios, the trainers, all have a role to play, you know, so it's a very good idea, I think, a very good initiative on behalf of the board to get them all together, discussing the way forward in terms of sports medicine within the region.
Well, Gibson added that players are somewhat knowledgeable to the medical aspect of the game, but it is just a matter of bringing forces together.
Players tend to think only about the game, you know, and like I said, there's a team that plays on the field and a team that sort of behind the scenes, the coaching staff, the support staff, the medical people that are making sure that the athletes are in prime shape, you know, and sort of like a Formula 1 car, you have the guy that drives the car, but the mechanics, the car can't drive without the mechanics, you know, and the doctors and the medical people are sort of the mechanics that keep the players on the field, you know, and I can't speak highly enough of all the people that are in the room now trying to make a difference to West Indies cricket.
That conference ends tomorrow. Well, finally, Grenadian teenager Karani James completed a memorable Diamond League debut in London this weekend, streaking to a world-leading time to win the 400 meters, but importantly, making a bold statement ahead of the World Championships later this month. James, who only turns 19 next month, clocked 44.61 seconds to beat the experienced Jamaican Jermaine Gonzalez into second in a time of 44.85. World indoor champion Bahamian Chris Brown finished third on 45.04 seconds. Jamaican Johan Blake grabbed the men's 100 meters in a time of 9.95 seconds in the absence of countryman Asafa Powell, who pulled out of the meet with injury. The 21-year-old finished ahead of Jamaican Nesta Carter, while Antiguan Daniel Bailey was fourth, and Olympic silver medalist Trinidadian Richard Thompson fifth in 10.15. In the women's 200 meters, Jamaican Sharon Simpson had to settle for second in 22.84 seconds, behind the winner, American Bianca Knight. Well, that's where we end tonight's sports package. When we come back, we've got the weather.
Good evening and welcome back. And today was definitely a day to stay indoors. It rained heavily, especially this morning. I'll tell you why in just a moment. At the airport today, light shower activity, 8 millimeters of rain recorded. All in all, still a relatively high, warm day at the airport. The high today, 31 degrees Celsius. And overnight, we saw the temperature dip to 25 degrees Celsius. Right now, we're down to 24 degrees Celsius, just in between 24 and 25 degrees. Lots of moisture building at the lower levels as our relative humidity is up to about 90%, and the winds are moderate and coming in from the north. We go now to our satellite picture. 3 tropical waves in the Atlantic tonight. One outside the range of our satellite picture at around 18 degrees. We have another one just around 37 degrees west, and the one that's closest to us, the axis earlier today, was along 58 degrees west. And it's that particular wave that affected Barbados and the other islands today. The axis was east of us this morning, and as a result would have generated a whole lot of showers and thunderstorm activity over Barbados. As it moved westwards, though, most of the shower activity is now to the west of our area and moving into the leewards and the northern windward islands. That wave is going to continue to track westwards. Moisture associated with it is going to continue to be over our area for the next 12 hours or so. So we'll continue to get some showers before a drying out process starts to begin. But the majority of the showers will continue over the leewards and the northern windward islands. Some very strong winds will maintain that convective activity over those islands. Speaking of the larger islands today, we had fair weather conditions over most of the islands except for the Bahamas, and that's because of the remnants of Emily, which today was a low pressure system, but it's now been upgraded to a tropical depression, and that depression tonight is about 70 miles to the west-northwest of Grand Abaco, Bahamas. It's moving towards the west at about 8 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are about 30 miles per hour. That system is going to be moving northwestwards out over the Atlantic. Pardon me, I said it was moving westwards. It's moving northwards. It will move northeastwards across the Atlantic, but it's going to be maintaining showers and thunderstorms over most of the Bahamas, while the other islands from Puerto Rico all the way through to Cuba will continue to get fair weather conditions for the most part, with just odd shower activity. And we go on now to forecast weather conditions. And we'll start with our sunrise tomorrow, 16 minutes before 6. The sun will set at 23 minutes after 6. So first daytime high tide, a minute after 9. The first daytime low will be at 25 minutes after 2. Seas will be moderate in open water. Swells will peak at around 2.5 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers, you should continue to be careful. The winds will come in from the east-northeast to the east-southeast at 15 to 35 kilometers per hour. And tonight it will be partly cloudy with a few scattered showers. Come tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy with some showers mainly over northwestern and western districts. And we leave you now with forecast weather conditions for the region and then our selected international cities.